you are going to get something that is going to be beneficial to you during this time, because indeed, this is a time that we need to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. Today, that is going to be the focus. How do we make sure that we put together a self-care plan that will help us to be our best selves? Well, I want us to get started first with the platform. Some of you may be new to this webinar with me. There are two images, and you can toggle between the two in order to enlarge whichever image you want to focus on in the webinar. You should be seeing the PowerPoint display at this time. I want you to notice that you can also chat with me. So I would love for you to do so throughout the broadcast, to make comments. And so let's try it out right now. I'd love to know how you're feeling right now. What are you hoping to get from our time together? So chat in our box, and I'll keep my eye out to see what you're saying. There's also going to be an opportunity for you throughout the broadcast to ask questions. And so just hit the question box and type in your question. And my best buddy, who you already sort of heard was here, is going to keep his eye on the question box to help me make sure that I respond to your questions during the broadcast. If I'm not able to get to the questions, I will make sure that I answer them at the end of the broadcast. Oh, okay. Hi, glad to see you. Claudie's here. Somebody wants to make sure that they can take better care of themselves every day. Great. Oh, how to balance work, sanity, and family. Absolutely. That is a challenge for us, especially during these times. Well, good. We're getting the feel for making sure that we chat in, and also feel free to ask questions as we are going along. There will be a replay available immediately after the broadcast, so keep your eye out. You'll get the replay and have a chance to listen to our conversation again. I hope you have some paper. You have something that you can write on. So if you do, make sure you pull it out, because we want to make sure today that you're going to walk away with a plan. So we're going to need to have some paper and pencil. Also check your email. You should get a template for a best self-care plan. If you haven't gotten it now, you should have it before the broadcast is over. So make sure you keep your eye out on your email for a best self-care plan template. Well, a little bit about me. I am very passionate about outcomes and results, and that is why I founded my company, the Outcomes Management Group, 25 years ago. It's hard to believe that I've been in business for that period of time. But I've had the opportunity to go inside over 150 organizations, about 50% of them nonprofit, 25% in the private sector, and 25% in government. I have also, as a result of that, touched over 50,000 individuals. So I bring a lot of experience as it relates to looking at organizations and working with people, trying to solve problems and helping them to achieve their results. About 2008, I became very interested in going back to see why some organizations and people were getting more extraordinary results than others. And I found that when they focused on 4 key characteristics, they got those extraordinary results, and they formed my acronym BEST that we certainly will visit today as well. So about 2016, I decided that I wanted to produce some best products and hosted some focus groups, and primarily millennials and a few Gen Xers attended, and they were interested in how my best could help them achieve their goals fast. And I had not thought about the relationship between speed and results. And that caused me to go back to the drawing board, look at my model, make some adjustments and changes. And I found that indeed we could increase our speed if we managed a few things that also helped us to get those extraordinary results. And that led to my focusing more on getting results fast. So today I'm all about helping to build a community of individuals like yourself who are interested in living your best life now and providing you with all of those tools and experiences that I've gained over the years, and as I'm developing new ones as we go through this new journey together. So let's turn quickly to my favorite topic about outcomes. What will we accomplish in our time together today? So first, I'd like for you to make sure that we're on the same page around living your best life and that you'll walk away having learned something new maybe about what that means and confirming some things about what it means to you. And most importantly, I want you to walk away having some practical strategies. Now, the key word there is practical because, we can come up with things that we can do, but they're not really practical, and so they don't get done. And the same thing with actions. We want them to be things that we can really do, because if they're not, then it's a nice, great idea, but nothing happens, and so we don't get the outcome that we really want. And we want to package those into what I'm calling a best self-care plan, because in order to really get results, you have to have a plan. You just can't wander out. You might get lost. So you want to make sure that you have this plan. So our best self-care plan is the goal for the end of our time together. How does that sound to you guys? Okay. Well, let's take a look at a definition for living your best life. First of all, we each are here and we have an assignment. And when we're living our best life, we are walking in that assignment and we are passionate about executing and achieving that assignment. Every day, as we are moving about, we are making the best use of our time. And when we step into a place, we light it up because our light shines. So if something's dark, when we arrive, we bring light. We're focused not on ourselves, but we're focused on others, and we want to meet their needs and expectations. And we really care about doing everything in an excellent manner. So what does that mean? It means that we're living a life that's purposeful, it's balanced, it's abundant, and we're blessing others. Now, the key word that we're going to focus on and uplift today is balanced, because in order for that life to be balanced, we have to take care of ourselves. When we are no longer here on this earth, because we lived this best life, there will be an indelible footprint on earth. So that's living your best life now. I want you to look at that definition, and there should be one word that just pops out almost in every sentence that is the indicator of the most important and significant influencer in living your best life. If somebody could just chat in, what's the one word, the key driver of living your best life? Okay, someone says purposeful. Okay. Look for the word that's used over and over and over. It's over. It's repeatedly there throughout. There is one word that's there. Oh, I think somebody has just put the word in. You. Yes. You. You are the key driver. Now, it's not just you, but it's you being your best. Because in order to really live this best life, you, can't just give, mediocrity or just be good. You've got to really bring it. You've got to bring your best. So when I'm talking about bringing your best, these are the things that I'm talking about that you're going to be doing. You're going to be focused on your image. And when you focus on your image, the outcome that you are going to realize is that you're going to be able to attract. You're going to be able to attract people to work with you. You're going to attract friends, and you're going to attract people to fund your efforts and your ventures, people to make referrals for you. You're going to attract. Excellence, you're focused on standards. You can't know if you're excellent if you don't have a standard. You have to have something from which you're going to measure yourself against, and that generates growth. S is about satisfaction, and it's meeting, remember, others' needs and expectations as well as your own. And the outcome there, it's my favorite, is energy, because in order to get things done, we have to have energy. And T is about time. And when people are really focused on meeting deadlines and get disciplined around time, they're able to seize opportunities. So those are the 4 characteristics. Now, much like today, where we keep hearing and they're doing modeling, and so we're examining new data and we're expanding our model, I've done the same thing with my BEST, and I've realized that each of those characteristics, that if we really develop them, we're actually developing some superpowers that can really help us to live this best life. So the top one on the left hand is the one that represents bright, and that superpower is gravitational attraction. And we want to be able to really attract. The second one at the top is representing excellence, and that is the gravitational power of distinction. It means you're able to stand out. The one at the bottom to the far right is S. It's about satisfaction, and that gravitational power is contentment. And then the last gravitational power is time manipulation. So if we're going to live this best life, then we want to really make sure that we can leverage our superpowers. Now, you notice we're talking about a little BESTZen. And so what's that sort of all about? Because Zen suggests that we're going to be really at this certain state that is going to allow us to be balanced. So if that is what we're talking about, behind each of these powers are different attributes that are there. And so we're going to really develop some of those attributes as we go through this, and I'll sort of reveal those as we go along, as we develop this plan that's going to put you in this BESTZen state. So that's where we're headed. Let's look now at the next important focus that you have to really direct your attention to. It has to become really a core value, and that is recognizing that time is an asset. And there's some things about it that's going to make you really recognize how precious it really is. First, we have to really remember that we have a finite period of time, and we don't really know how much time we have. Certainly, we have age as an indicator of length of life, but it is not the indicator of our time, because it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be here, for, if I'm 20, I've got 50 more years here, or I'm 30 and I've got 40 more. We became real, that really has become real to us, in our face really recently with the death of Kobe Bryant. So we have to recognize that this finite period of time means that we've got to really use it well. When we look at how we measure time in, here on Earth, we find that we get 86,400 seconds if we're blessed to be here for a day. And that means that we want to make sure that we make each moment count. And we don't want to delay things, put them off, thinking that, we've got time, we've got tomorrow, or we have the next hour. No, we have what we have right now. And that's why I want to, again, applaud you for taking time right now to say, I'm going to focus on me and making sure I have a plan to take care of me. And you're doing that right now. So I talked about the fact that there are these influencers that impact our speed. And one of the influencers that impacts our speed is also balance. So we want to take care of ourselves so that we can do things, but we also, if we take care of ourselves very well, we can not only do things, we can do things fast. And so that's another motivator to making sure that we're in our best condition, because we're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done fast. Life has a way of teaching us, how to use our time. And then time has a way of teaching us to really value life. So there's this real interconnection between our life and time. And what we know, regrettably, is that most of us, we live our life out of balance. And it's out of balance because we're making choices of doing things that are not really maybe the most important choice of the day or the moment. And so we get out of balance. One of the things that we have recognized as a result of this pandemic is it's forcing us to re-examine our balance. We've seen that, families, one of the, family members was always out traveling and not around. And so now the family member can't travel. So now the family member is home, and now the family is together as opposed to apart. So we're finding all kinds of things that balance is shifting just because of what's going on in our environment. And that's because we've gotten out of balance. And what we want to do is to make sure that we get our lives back in balance, and that we don't have to have an external force to force us to be focused on balance. And unfortunately, that tends to happen. It's happened to me many times because I'm not paying attention and I get out of balance. So we don't want to shift our scales. And we most importantly don't want time to run out and we don't get a chance to do what we need to do. Okay, I hope that you are really saying, hurry up now. I want to really know what I need to do so that I can take care of myself, so that I can really live this best life that I am aspiring to. And let's get right to it. So here's a quote that I think is really a pretty neat quote about self-care. And Mandy Hale talks to us about the fact that we shouldn't feel that we're being selfish when we take care of ourselves and we love ourselves. In fact, it's necessary for us to take care of ourselves first. We know that when we're on the airplane, they always tell us, right, put our mask on first before we can put it on someone, our child, or help someone else. So it's really important that we absolutely focus on ourselves. Now, here's the other thing. I love my favorite book. Some of you immediately know the good book. The Bible tells us that you love your neighbor as yourself. Well, that would suggest that I have to love myself at first. I mean, how can I love my neighbor if I don't already know how to love myself? So self and taking care of self, loving self has to be our number one priority. So here's how we're going to move through creating and looking at your self-care plan. We're going to look at it in 4 slices. So if you have a sheet of paper, I want you to make 4 columns. One is going to say morning routine. And then in the middle, the next column, I want it to say during the day. And then the third column is going to say end of day. And the fifth column is going to say me time. We're not going to go in that order. You notice during the day is going to be my third conversation because it's going to be easier for us to tackle morning and end, because I want you to think about routines. So the buzzword, morning routine, end of day routine. And then we're going to talk about during the day and me time. What can you do so that you're really making sure that you're taking care of yourself? So let's talk about why I'm using the word routine. Here are the two benefits of routine, establishing a routine. One is it's going to help you to save time. And remember, we've got so much to do, right? Lots to do, and we don't ever have enough time to do it. So one of the ways that we can shrink some of that time is to establish a routine. Now, my husband is the routine king. And so I'm going to just pull one of his routines out to just show you this point. In the morning, Clayton, for breakfast, he has established a routine. He is going to have oatmeal, he's going to have orange juice, and he's going to have yogurt. Those are the things that he's going to have. So he goes into the kitchen, and if that's what he's going to have, right? He knows where the oatmeal is, he gets the yogurt out, gets the orange juice out, and he's all set. Now, let's say me, I'm not on the routine. So therefore, if I come in the kitchen and I go, oh, let's see now, do I want to have eggs, or would I like to have bacon, or would I like to have a muffin today, or even deeper still, do I want a chocolate chip muffin or a blueberry muffin? You can see where this goes, right? It's taking more time for me to just get ready to eat, because I've spent all this time trying to figure out what is it that I'm going to have. You might have heard that, even President Obama sometimes would wear the same things because it doesn't require preparation for stuff. If I'm going to always wear A, B, and C, then I just go in, get it, I'm dressed, as opposed to, oh, let me see, today, do I feel like this, or do I feel like that, or this or that, the other. So you get it. Routines are going to help you to save time, because it's going to be just like that. Now, I do have to back up and tell you a funny thing about the routine is that before I recognized the benefit for Clayton for his routine, the benefit for me was grocery shopping. When I go grocery shopping, you can imagine it's easy. I don't have to do anything. I know exactly what to get. There's nothing to search around for. It's right, yogurt, certain kind of yogurt, certain type of yogurt, certain type of oatmeal, and certain type of orange juice, and that's it. When we first got married, I would try to bring in choices like, well, hon, would you like to try this yogurt? And he's like, no, I like blueberry. We don't need to try peach today. So makes it easy for me. So on my side, I do shave off time in grocery shopping. Routines are great. Routines are good for habits, for building good habits, because again, we procrastinate, right? In doing some things that are good for us. Like, oh, should I walk today or not? One of my girlfriends in this pandemic, we were talking, and she said, oh, the weather, where are you? And I said, oh, I'm outside. And she said, oh, what are you doing? I said, I'm walking. And so I said, oh, why don't you walk? And so she said, yeah. So she put her shoes on and everything. And instead of having our conversation, she's sitting in the house and me walking. She got out and she started walking. So together we started walking, and we've now established a routine. How about that? Every day we walk together, talking on the phone. We kill two birds with one stone, get a chance to catch up with each other, and we get ourselves moving because we're on stay. And so we're out, and we're definitely avoiding the distance, right? We're not near each other, but we're getting it in. And so you see, that's a good habit that and she and I have laughed about this because, if we didn't have each other, then the tendency might be to keep working. Oh, I don't have time for that. So I'll just keep plugging away. So getting those routines, good habits, saving time. So we want to make sure that in the morning, we have a routine because the morning is starting the day. Now, we're going to approach this again from three lenses: when, where, and how. In the midst of this backdrop of the things that I want you to make sure that you're going to put into your routine. So the first thing that I want you to think about that we have to put into the routine is technology control. That means that we are not going to be, as soon as we get up, we're not off into checking what's happening on Facebook, or we're not going to be, doing our email. That's not going to be it. So technology control, you're going to have to figure that out, but I'm just throwing out the things that I want you to think about. But we got to control technology because it can get us all off track and we're not doing what we need to do. Now, here are the things, though, that I want you that this must be in a routine format. And the reason these variables have to be in a routine is because of the benefits from them. So when we focus on mindset adjustment, hydration, nourishment, movement, and maybe a little sunshine, I threw that in because I love that, sunshine. Here are the benefits. We want to make sure that we're doing things that are going to help us stay healthy. Our heart's going to be good. Our blood pressure is going to stay down. Our cholesterol is going to be good. We want to make sure if we got aches and pains that our joints are getting lubricated. We want to make sure that we're alert. We want to make sure our memory's good. We want stress down. So these are the things that have to happen. They have to happen. So we want to put them into a routine because we don't want to take a chance and not take care of these things. So let's talk about mindset. So I'm calling this mindset adjustment. And I am saying that first thing, you have got to make sure that you have your mind set to an expectation and focus. That's got to be in the routine. How am I going to set my mind so that I have an expectation and a focus? Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about not wandering into the day and letting the day drive your mindset. I'm saying I'm going to have an expectation that this is going to be a great day. Good things are going to happen today. I am going to whatever I need to focus on today. So right away, I've got to get my mind set. It's got to happen in that routine mindset. In the routine has to be hydration. You got to figure out, when am I going to get some water in the morning before I go out into the world? I've got to get I got to get that hydration going. I've got to make sure I get some nourishment. I cannot leave, rushing out, going somewhere, and not have taken in some kind of nourishment. So I've got to think about that. I've got to think about movement because I've got to move. I got to get moving. And, it's sort of hard, depending upon where we are, to have sunshine. But when there is sunshine, you want to think about how you can get that, because that vitamin D is also very good for you. So those are the things that I want you to be thinking about. Hopefully you're jotting some things down, in your mind already. These are the things that I'm going to be thinking about. How do I put that into a routine? Now, notice the first question also said when, and I want you to think about where. So when you're doing things, your environment matters. It makes a difference, and so you want to really think about everything that you're going to set and stage that is going to make your environment conducive to you being able to execute that routine that you're talking about. So I have a place, a space. So in my morning routine that I'm going to sort of share some pieces with you. So I have a space, that I've created that has things in that space that will help me to stay focused on what it is that I want to do during this routine. And, you see, I got this, I even have a certain mug that I drink out of intentionally to remind me. That's my girlfriend's mug of my friends. So you want to just think about, setting the place, setting the stage, how am I going to do that, as a part of this routine. So if I'm in the kitchen, I got to do things, where is it going to be? How am I going to stage things to make sure that I do them, that it's easy for me to implement and to take care of? And it's going to drive me to do what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to sort of give you a little bit of backdrop before we step back and let you do some work. I want you to think about, you're going to have a start and end time to your routine. This is going to take a little thinking about, when do I start and when do I end my routine? Because I have other things to do. And all of you have different things going on in life. You've got family, so you got to decide, how does this fit in with my family, and what part of this is just me, and for me to do what I need to do, what's that amount of time is that? So I had to even adjust my start time, because in order for me to just, so my husband gets up at 7. And then when we were actually before the pandemic, so Clayton gets up at 7. I get up at 6:30. I get up a half an hour earlier so that I could get started on me, the things that I wanted to do, and before he got up. So you have to decide, what are you going to do? How do you do it? And then you want to decide what's going to be your end time for your routine, because, the kids are going to be, you got to do whatever, you got to take them to school. You got to get to your meeting at your office or wherever, but you want to think about your start end time. So for me, you'll see affirmation is my first thing. So in the morning, my alarm clock goes off. And as soon as the alarm goes off, immediately, as soon as I just turn off, as soon as I turn the step out of the bed, I have a little index card that's bright yellow that I can't miss because it's right by the alarm. And right on it is some affirmations to remind me, because I'm getting ready to set my mind. This is going to be a great day. I'm expecting good things to happen. God's grace and mercy will be following me everywhere I go. I start right then. I am blessed and highly favored. Immediately, I have set my mind before the TV, the radio, any noise has come in. I have set my mind for the day. Now, a little movement needs to occur, so gotta do a little stretching, so you gotta decide what you want to do, but that's me. I just do a little stretch. And then my water, I do hot water and lemon, and so I go in and I do my hot water and lemon, get it together and set it up, and then I come back to my space, and now I'm nourishing my spirit. So we want to think about mind, body, spirit. And so my spiritual nourishment comes in the form of, I do some reading and studying in the Bible. I'm also stimulating my mind. I do some praying. And then depending upon what occurred during that meditation period, I then also stimulate my mind. I write something that came from that I then share as a message for the day. And some of you may have seen my daily spiritual messages, but they come out of that period of time. So they're not pre-written. I haven't pre-thought about them. They have just come from whatever it is that I was meditating on. So that is sort of my morning routine. I want you to take a moment now, and I want you to start jotting down just on your paper some things that you think you could do in your morning that can create a routine that will focus on your mind, your body, and your spirit. So everybody just start jotting some things down, and I would love for someone to share some of the things that you think that you can now put into a routine that is going to help you to care for your mind, your body, and your spirit before the day starts, before you get out into your work world? What is it that you can do? Okay, meditation moment. I like that. Oh, hi, Derek. Anybody else? Something that you can do. Okay, start at 6:30. Oh, okay, good. Oh, some jumping jacks. I like that, Dana. Awesome. Affirmations. Journal more. Hi, Amy. Great. Okay, so I hope you're making your list. For right now, just jot down. I want you to put something. I don't see anything in movement. Can someone tell me what they're going to do to move? And what about hydration? If somebody can make sure, because we want to make sure that we're doing we're focusing all those areas have to get into that routine. Because if we don't get our body moving right at the beginning of the day, we're not going to move later. Yeah. So movement, hydration. What are some of the things that you're going to do? Somebody just send a comment in. Okay, drink a glass of water with your vitamins. Okay, all right, good. Okay, walking. All right. Okay. It's Helen. She says she's got sunshine. She's in Florida. I love it. Yes. Yeah. So you can get out, and that is a good thing to get out as well. So if you can build in your routine, a period of time in the morning that you can get out and walk, that can be a part of that routine. That's great, because then you're not thinking about, you're not going, am I going to walk today? You have decided that walking is a part of the routine. Oh, yoga. Oh, that's good. Yes. Yeah, I love it. So you got it. You want to think of something for your mind, your body, and your spirit that you want to put into a routine so that you're not thinking about it. It is definitely, these are the things that I know that I'm going to do between this time period so that I can make sure that I have gotten my day off to a good start. I've taken care of myself in the areas that are going to be really important for me to be alert, have myself focused on the right things. Okay, all right. Okay, so morning routine, fill in the blanks. You're going to have to go back and think about, your start time. Because you're going to have to get a flavor for how much time it takes you to do things so that you can decide, when am I going to have to start? Am I going to have to get myself up earlier so that I can get my routine in? So you're going to have to really, so make sure on your little sheet that you put start time on there and end, so that you are thinking about, yeah, start at 5. Yes. Okay. So some of us have to start really early. Yeah. Okay. Somebody's saying starting at 9, the group prayer. Okay. 5:30. Great. So that's what I want. I want you to get clear about, here's when I'm going to start, and here's when my routine is going to end. And it's important that you set this, because like I'm a consultant, and so I have different things that can happen. So I really want to set a routine of those things that I can do, regardless to the fact that I might have something else that's going to come up. So really, you may have to adjust your start time on a certain day. You may have to get up earlier because, you've got something else going on. But you really have got to do the routine. You want to make sure that you don't let the routine go because something came up. Yeah. Oh, okay. First 30 minutes when I get up. Okay, good. So you want to think about that. All right. Well, let's move to the latter part of the day, the end of the day. And I have to admit, I'm still working on this one. I haven't mastered this yet as well as I would like, because at the end of the day, I want us to really think about looking at the day, the day that we're in, and seeing about how was that day, and then preparing for the next day. Now, it's important to prepare for the next day. Today is Saturday. We want to prepare for Sunday today, because if we're prepared, then we're not having to get up and in the middle of Sunday start thinking about how we're going to do Sunday. We've already thought about it on Saturday. So Sunday, we're able to execute. We're able to do the things that we want to do on Sunday and not stumble upon them or try to manage around them as things occur. Of course, things happen and we have to, we have to make changes, but we really want to make sure that we've already given forethought. So at the end of the day, we want to, a part of that looking at the day is to look with gratitude, because when we're in the spirit of gratitude, that also helps us, right, to maintain the balance, because we hear so much. Oh, isn't it awful? This didn't happen and that didn't happen. The next thing you know, we're all down and out because we focused on all the things that aren't going well. That's sort of driving me crazy right now. Every time I'm on the TV, it's always about what didn't happen, how bad this is, what is, and we're not getting any of the positives. So we want to end our day on gratitude. And so I think Amy mentioned she's journaled. We want to make sure that we've actually spent some time thinking, what am I grateful for? In fact, my goddaughter Ruth gave me a little crystal jar and with some Post-its, and I could write it and put it in the jar. And then later I could go back and then look at those things and remember the things that were, that I was grateful for. So, we want to be grateful and we want to think about that. We want to make sure that we are also, assessing, did we do the things that we said we were going to do? Or did we not? How much did we get accomplished today? And if things didn't happen that we hoped that they would, now's the time to what? Make some changes so that tomorrow can be better than today. So we want to make that assessment, not repeat the mistake tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, and then bump into it 3 months later. Be nice to catch it right away so that we can make the adjustment. And of course, plan for the next day. And here's the big one at night. At night, it is about, and this is where my challenge is, it is about setting the time when you're going to go to bed and recognizing how much time, everybody says somewhere between 7 and 9 hours of sleep is probably, what we need to get. Now, remember, my husband is the best at routines. I'm really trying to learn from him. Because at 11 o'clock, he goes to bed no matter what. He could be in the middle of his favorite basketball game. And it could be the third quarter. And I'm there with him, right? Watching it. And I want to see the end. And he's like, I'm out of here. It's my time. It's bedtime. I'm like, oh my gosh. So he gets his sleep. He pays attention to it and he's programmed and it happens like clockwork. This is the time and away we go. So we want to get there because there's just so much benefit from sleep. It reduces stress. It makes us more alert. It improves our memory. And so we really do not want to, it impacts our weight. I mean, there's so much about this sleep and I am really working on it. Maybe a few of you out there that are with me, that this one is hard, but I've got to get it. And maybe together we can make this happen, that we actually can shut down and go to bed and get that sleep that we all need. So I'm going to ask you to also think about, where are you going to do your shutdown? Where's that going to take place? Where are you going to be? Part of mine now is in a nice comfy chair. It's in our living room where there's a little light there and I have a little journal. And that's where mine takes place, where I really spend time thinking about the day and planning for the next day. So I want you to spend a little time now just thinking about your day. What would you do as your routine for the end of the day? Quickly, my end of the day routine is to do a journal. I started trying to do this. I add my drinking tea at night. A good green tea. I'm trying, again, health. We want to think about health. How can we integrate things that we know we need to? I spend some time, reviewing what I've done and preparing, and I do a little celebration, bring a little joy in here when I've accomplished something that I really wanted to, and I develop my next best day. So, evening routines, everybody. Want you to put some things down that you are going to do. How about somebody tackle what time you're going to go to bed in order for you to get 7 to 8 hours sleep? If you have to be up at 5, if your day is starting at 5, when then might you go to bed in order to make sure that you're getting the sleep? Yeah, this is hard. This is a hard one. Okay, 9:30, good. Okay, so see, again, I like that. She says a night alarm is set. Oh, that's a good one. So if you're going to know that 9:30 is your time, then set your mobile phone clock so it'll go off and make sure that you know you're supposed to go to bed. It's time to go. Yeah, that's good. Oh, okay, so getting your son in bed. So you can be in bed by 10. Okay, that's good. Yeah, because we do have to balance, right? We've got family. Oh, hi, Lauren. Great. So 9 p.m. and waking up at 4:30. Excellent. And I know that that's true because Lauren has established that with me. She lets me know, hey, Dr. Pat, try to reach me and I'm not available. And I'll even reach her at 9 and and I'll say, hey, I know you're already asleep, but I just thought I'd sit this so you can get it first thing when you wake up. But you see, you can condition others around your routine so that they know that this is a sacred time for you. And that's important. So I'm glad you brought that up. So I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, me too. I do like that idea about the alarm, setting the alarm. That's good. Okay, so time is going to be important, and we're going to think about all the other things that we can do. And I think you guys can probably have been jotting down some things that you can think about that you're going to make sure are part of your routine for the evening. Now here is the hard one. The hard one is the day, because from the time you leave home to go or to start work or whatever you're doing, to the time that you're going to end your routine, how do you maintain focus and how can you be your most productive self? And the things that you have got to build into that day is that I've got to think about nourishment. I've got to decide what I'm going to eat. Because when I don't think about it, I run into all kinds of challenges and problems. Not only what I'm going to eat, when I'm going to eat, how much I'm going to eat, I have to give forethought to it. That becomes a part of that planning the day before, because if I haven't planned, it's going to be a problem. I've got to also build in hydration. I got to make sure that I am drinking water, because remember, we know water is going to be important for me to have energy, for me to stay alert, help me with my memory, help me with my joint pain. I gotta drink water. I have got to move. I've got to be moving. And guess what? You do have to have a little attitude adjustment during the day, because we bump into things in the day. And so we have to build in attitude adjustment, and we have to have a plan around technology. So I want you to think about that. Around technology, I want you to really decide when and how often am I going to check my email. Like, I'm not going to have my little zing on at every moment that I get zing that I'm going to check my email. I'm going to definitely I have time set for when I am going to look at my email. I have time set when I am going to engage on social media platforms. I do not just allow myself to get out there at any old time, because I could be out there for an hour when I don't need to be out there and I need to be doing something else. So you got to have a technology plan. So I want you to write that down, technology plan, really be intentional with regard to when you're going to be out there looking at things. Now, the other thing about technology that I love is I set my day, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but I use technology to help me to measure how much time I take to do things. So you want to use your technology, in that way. Let me see if I have my examples up. I have some of them. So I have decided that in the course of the day, I'm going to drink 3 bottles of 16, 20 ounce water. You decide, you have those things, whatever. But for me, I place them around. So I have them at different workstations. So if I'm going to be working somewhere, I have a water bottle there. If I'm going to, if I've got, a break, I've got a space for break, I've got a water bottle. So you want to think about the where as well, so that you can facilitate making sure that you do things in the car in the morning. Maybe you got your water in your car, so you got your water on the way. You have a water bottle there for when you're on your way home, and you make sure you get some water during the course of the day. But you want to think about it. I have a point in time in my day that I recite positive declarations, so that I have an attitude adjustment. It's built into my day, so that I am allowing myself to get off track by what the world is telling me. I'm telling myself some things that are really important to me. And then I want you to know that working, I would say that you want to work steady, no more than 2 hours at a time if you can. And I know that we're working for other people, but I want you to think about, when you're working on projects and things, to think about how you allocate time for the tasks, because after 2 hours, you need a break. What I am suggesting is that you want to create breaks in your day. So I have established that I'm going to do 4 breaks in my day, and they're 15-minute breaks. Those are how I've established them. And during those breaks, I can manage some other things. So I can get up, I can move about. So I can get up, I can walk around those 15 minutes, or I can stretch for 15 minutes, or I can make sure that I'm having a praise break in those 15 minutes, or I can be snacking at a break, but I've got a break. It allows me to clear my mind. I can come back and I can be much more productive. So breaks are necessary, scheduled breaks. So make sure that you, put some breaks in your day, and think about where you're placing things in order to get things done. I'm going to put this back here to this one, and I want you guys to just jot down some things now that you're going to do to make sure you're getting the proper nourishment during the course of the day. Hydration, drinking some water, making sure you're moving about. You built in your own attitude adjustment. So, and how are you going to manage technology? So I'd love somebody to put out here, how do you manage when you check your emails and when you're out on social media? What are you going to do? What are you doing to control that so that it's not controlling you? Anybody got any great ideas about how to do that? Well, make sure that, oh, somebody says they really need some ideas around that. Yeah. My timekeeper is telling me that we're getting close to the time. So we're going to hang a little, might be a little bit. Oh, somebody says they're out of control with that. Yep. Yep. Okay. I love that. Put the phone on mute. That's right. I like that. When I'm present, I'm present. I do turn off my phone. I turn it over. I miss some things because I don't have it in front of me. I do not allow it to pull me in. So one way is to work with your phone turned over. And I guess when you have it on vibrate, you can, know that something, and if you need to check it, you can. I try not to do that. I try to make sure that it's turned over. I'm going to get back to people. I schedule, when I'm going to check so that I can return calls well, but I do not stop, because remember, when you open up your email, you now have opened up other people driving your day, and you start responding to everybody and everything. And you've got to decide, these are the things that I have to do. And if they're important, then I'm going to do those things, and then I'm going to take care of others. Remember, me first, things I've got to do, and then others next, unless it's really, really critical. Yes. Oh, that's good. That's good. Being present is important, and not getting caught up in allowing other things to distract you. I want to show you, let's see, I'm going to, I thought I had it. Oh, I think it's further along, but okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and then I'll get to what I wanted to show you last. Me time. That was our fourth column, and everybody needs to decide that you're going to set up a special time where you're just going to take care of yourself. You're just going to do something that makes your soul happy, and you want to schedule that. It can't be that it's happenstance. It's got to be, this is something I really like doing, and I'm going to do that. It's going to be just me. I'm stimulating me. It's making me happy. And so we want to have me time scheduled, because otherwise, if we're giving, and even though we're doing these other things, we've got to do something that's just me, that's going to make me happy. So on me time, I want everybody to write down something that's just you, that you can do, that make you happy. Just something that you can do. I love Hallmark movies, so every now and then, right, I can just binge and lay back, have some popcorn, enjoy a Hallmark movie, cry, laugh, whatever makes me happy. I like to soak. I got a tub. I like to do that, just lay back. Not at the spa, but I can be at my own spa. I want you to just think about, what can you do? One thing that you can do, yes, that can make you, happy. Okay, yay. Daniel's got HGTV. All right. Yoga. Mm-hmm. That's good. So I like that. So what I see there is that when your child is doing something, you can use that time to do some me time, do something for you while your child is engaged in a swimming class or in an activity. It's a good time for you to then think of doing something for yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Making your bedroom. Thank you. Because we want to think about the place. Where can our me time occur? And can we create a space for that? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Helen, outside. Yeah, some people, that's really good. They can get out and get into the ground and do some things, and that's really good. My husband likes that too. My mom did as well. Yeah. Reading. Yes. That's good too. Absolutely. Awesome. So just make sure that you're going to schedule your me time. So these are things that we know that we like to do, but we want to schedule those things. And I think you cannot totally see this, but I'm going to send it to you. I've been working really hard on this. It's my best day form. And it's a page that you can fold it into 3 parts. It says morning, it says afternoon, and it says evening. And it is going to be the thing that's going to help you to take your ideas and put them into a day that is going to be your best day. And it says, my best day is now. My best time is now. It focuses me in the morning. And so I am able to set, and you'll get it. And I'm going to send some video with it that's going to tell you how to use it. So in the morning, it tells you like at 6:30 to 6:45, I am doing my preparation for my drink. 7 o'clock to 7:15, I'm doing whatever. Everything that I'm doing, I have a start time and an end time. It helps me to get very clear about how long it takes me to do things. Sometimes I think I can do things, it takes me longer. Sometimes I learn I can do them faster, but having that start stop on things allows you to get used to and with how much time it takes to accomplish things. You'll see that it also has declarations in there and affirmations built in, and the end of the day, what am I grateful for? All of that is sort of into the form. So you'll be getting that after the webinar. So I think you have what it's going to take to create your best Zen. When you do these things, you'll have a positive attitude. You're going to be able to adapt. You're going to be at peace, and you're going to be in the moment, and you'll know you're in your best Zen. So I'd like to invite you, if you're not already a member of the Best Life community, to join my community. Every day I try to share different things. There are tools there, information. So if you're not a member, please join. I have different products. If you're a member of the community, you get 10% off of the product. So come join me in the Best Life community. I'd love to have you, so that we together can make sure we're living our best life now. If you have a question or anything that you want to say before we sign out, my timekeeper is telling me I'm a little over. So let me know if there's anything. You can type it in. I'll definitely, or you can message me. You see, there's a place to message me as well. So thanks, Claudia. Thanks. One last thing is that next week I'm doing one more, and it's going to be find out who you need to have on your front row. We've got a crisis going on, and who is sitting up front, and want to make sure we have the right people in our space so that we can live our best life. So that's next Saturday, same time. Who's on your front row? Well, thanks again so very much for joining. Take care of yourself. Be your best, and know that only your best is good enough. Look forward to hearing from you, and you'll be hearing from me too real soon.